Southside to uptown, the city is back, cause we are. Yeah, we are. And that's a DC rising. You could better step when that I put my city on my back. Man, I swear these niggas lying if they say my city down. You could better step when that I put my city on my back.
I'ma do it for my Wizards again. We going all the way this year. What?
What is up, Wiz Nation, Wizards fans? How's it going? How's it going? Y'all know who it is. It's your boy, Cam Mingo. We're doing something a little different this time. We're not going to do a little recap like I do every time, but we're going to do two things. We're going to recap because we recently had a 6-game win streak that came to an end this past Friday. But after that, we're going to talk about not one, but two debacles for the Wizards. Yes, two debacles that we had during the weekend. And it was ugly. But first, let's recap this long 6-game win streak because last time we were here, I was having a bit of fun. And now the fun has just ended. But let's start a new one, you know what I'm saying? But let's get started. Let's recap this win streak. First streak, it came against New York. We talked about that. Brad came back, and we got a win in New York. Then Orlando at home. Pretty simple. And that was Ruby's last game as a Wizard. And then we had a 4-game road trip. Beat Dallas, beat Houston, beat New Orleans over the weekend. And what you know, all I gotta say is this. We finally won at San Antonio. Finally, we finally won there. It's been 24 years since 1999. I was not even a fan during that time span. Then the 99-2000 season, I was like, what, in third grade? Something like that, second, third grade. Last time we won in San Antonio. Crazy. We didn't. Last time we were there was old boy Duncan's on the team. Dave Robinson. And for Wizards, they had Rob Strickland, Juwan Howard on that team. I'm like, it's finally happened. And Drew Gooden said on the broadcast, if this was time to end the streak, it was this year. Because we didn't want to lose in San Antonio again with that bad team. That team looking there. And shout out to my man Stephen Powers. He was there in San Antonio this year on TV. You did bring us some good luck there. So, but I'll see you soon this weekend, brother. I'll see you soon, man. But yeah, we finally won in San Antonio. But the story during that win streak was Denny. Denny, after the Rui trade, Denny has become a different person. Somehow, some way, and even we got a new name to give him the little Turbo. I'm like, okay. I was like, okay, Danny, because that was developed in the Pelican game, which I didn't see it, but once I saw replay, okay, now it's stuck. You got Kispert doing it, you got Brad doing it. You saw that in San Antonio, right? Even got me doing it. It got me doing it. The little. So we're gonna have something to do with Denny. I got some turbo stuff. You know what I'm saying? It was like when we had Bertrand, same remember? We had the little with the laser. We're gonna do something with Denny, but we're gonna do that in some other time. But yeah, we could have won. It could have been 7 because we also have a game last Wednesday. Because they postponed we supposed to play the Pistons that day because Detroit it couldn't get out of Dallas. It had a little snow and ice storm there, so we're gonna find out when they're gonna make up on that day. I haven't seen no posts yet, but we're gonna find out when we're gonna play Detroit. It's probably gonna be after the All-Star break. But now, let's get into these two debacles. We're gonna combine them as one. We're gonna try that. The first quarter in both games, Portland, we had 36 points in the first quarter. And in Brooklyn, we had 44 points in the first quarter. So, in those two games, we averaged 40 points in the first quarter. 40. Really. And if you score 40 points in the first quarter, you should win. Because I think we were up 17 against Portland and Brooklyn. We were up 19 at the first quarter. Because the Brooklyn game, we were on pace to score 50 in the first quarter. 50. And they were shorthanded. They had no Ben, no Kyrie, no Kevin Durant. And Portland, I think one guy was out. They had no Nurkic. And the unicorn, Mr. He came in two first quarters, has 16 points. 16 in the first quarter. When you get last three games, if you don't count the Pistons game, but the Spurs, the Blazers, and the Nets, once you get the unicorn going, I mean, you should have a chance to win. You know what I'm saying? Because he can get tired. You know what I'm saying? After one quarter, but once he gets going, one quarter, it's basically a wrap. Then second quarter, both games, it was pretty much even quarter. So I think we were up. Against Portland, we were up 18. Some of that at halftime. I think some of that both games. I think Brooklyn was 17 and Portland was 18. Something like that. And the real debacle was the third quarter. The third quarter in both games, you let two guys almost the whole game get going. Two players. Portland, the Anthony Simons guy who killed us again in DC. Again. You saw last year, he had 34 points? Last year, I remember that game in DC. Something like that. And they won the game. And he came out third quarter blazing hot. Same thing with Cam Thomas. The same dude who killed us in the Summer League back in 2021. You remember that. He had the game-winning shot on us. He had a little tough three-pointer, something like that, to win overtime, because it's different overtime rules in the Summer League than the NBA, where I think if you score a bucket, then the game is over. The game is over. But that game, Portland game, both games, the Portland game, they cut the 4 in the third going to fourth quarter, and the Brooklyn game, and they cut down to 7 in going to fourth quarter. So if you combine those two, it's a 11-point difference going fourth quarter. So 11 points, you're like, all right, either you're gonna win or you're gonna blow it. And boy, fourth quarter they blew it. Once both. Especially the Blazers, once they got the lead, I'm going to Blazers first. Once they got the lead, Blazers at one point got the lead, they never looked back. Like they was like shooting like boom 3-pointer, and one play we gave a transition foul. After with a new rule that if you foul someone on a fast break, it's two shots and the ball back. So that was the dagger. And the fourth quarter, once the Nets got the lead, I'm like, oh my god. Both games, you see me. Every time someone takes a lead after a comeback I'm like, uh-oh. But that fourth quarter in the next game, it was back for Cam Thomas and Monty Morris were going back and forth. But this play, the next game, it was pretty much controversial to me. Very controversial. That foul at the end should not have been a goaltending. That foul should have been on the floor. Like that ball was basically not going down. It was still going. Ball still going up. That should not been a goaltending. It should have been. Cause I think we had a foul to give. You know what I'm saying? It should have been foul on the floor, not a continuation. So, and then Monty Moore had a chance to send it overtime, and you missed 2 freaking free throws. And then Denny had a chance to put it back up, but he got stripped inside the paint. And that was pretty much the ball, and that was the ball game. I'm like, and going to the next game, I'm like, what just happened? And Wizards Twitter exploded. So, and I got something to say to West Unseld Jr. You gotta get fit, because the responsibility is on you. How you come out at halftime when you're up big on a team? Because we seen this movie before, West Unseld. Remember last year against the Clippers when you blew a 35-point lead and lost? You got to come out and adjust, you know what I'm saying, in the second half when we were up big. Because during the road trip, we were not up big. We were up 5 or 7 or 8, something like that. Except for the Houston game, we were down 15 at halftime, and we came back and won. So there are three games where you blew big leads. 35, 23 and 20. So something's got to be fixed when it comes to these big leads at halftime. Because you can make adjustments when it's close, but when blowing out, you can't say, oh, we're up 18, 20 points. The game is over. You got to adjust in the second half and blow them out even more. You know what I'm saying? You can't just say, you know what? They'll say, like, you can say, go away this, and we got that thing. And it come a third quarter, and you know what I'm saying? And you got to burn timeout after timeout after timeout. You know what I'm saying? So, responsibility is on you, Wes Unseld Jr. You got to get this fixed immediately. You know what I'm saying? Before the All-Star break. We got like 16 games for the All-Star break, something like that. But I'm going to get to these numbers real quick. Because this both games, Simons and Cam Thomas. Simons, that Blazers game, had 33 points. And he had 26 in the second half. Do you hear Skyport Wizards last year? Yeah, he can heat up. That's why they got rid of C.J. McCollum last year. And Dame, he had a good game. Most play came from foul line. He did a good job on off defense. He was 9-20 on field. He got his number 29 points. And a Unicorn, he's doing his thing. Last two games, scoring 30+. Had 32 against the Blazers and 38 against Brooklyn. And Brooklyn, he did foul out though against Brooklyn. That was real tough. And Denny, against Portland, after that road trip, you came out, scored not zero. He had 2 points, 0-8 from the field. I'm like, where's the trouble right now? If we could have used you, and offensively, who knows, it would be a different outcome. But he did bounce back though. He had 20 points against Brooklyn, so I'm real proud of that. Second highest scoring game of his career. Now to the injury side. Portland, Beal, he hurt his foot, but he played through it. But then he couldn't play the next night against Brooklyn. But when Kyle Kuzma he left early second quarter. He had an ankle sprain, didn't return. And I'm gonna say this: we were a little short. You could have played one of your guys on the bench. You could have played Gibson more. You could play Will Barton. You played Denny, Goodwin, Nunn, and Gibson. You basically Gibson a little bit in the last second though. You could have used Will or played them a little more. You know what I'm saying, against Brooklyn, since you're shorthanded, you had no Brad, no Kuzma, so go deep in your bank. I think Gil's still out. He's still on health safety protocols. But here's the key stat why we lost that Blazers game, why we blew that big lead. One of the key crazy stats, the second half, we did not shoot a single free throw in the second half. Not one free throw. We were 20 and 22 all first half. We could have gone line at least 35 times in the whole game. That was the one of the outcomes right there. One that was crazy stat to me. Not a single free throw attempt. Not one. The Brooklyn game, look at that here. The turnovers. We turned over against a short next thing 15 freaking times. And by the way, remember I mentioned there was no KD and Kyrie and Ben. Two of the guys left the game in the third quarter. It was Seth Curry and Markieff Morris. And they were down to 8 guys. And who did go to the bench? Cam Thomas, who murdered us with a career high 44 points. So I'm thinking to myself, he is the new Wizards killer. Him and Simons. Add them on the list as Wizards killers. So we should have been on an 8-game winning streak right now. 8. We should have won 8 straight going to the Cavaliers and going for 9 in a row, which we haven't done since Michael Jordan. And possibly, who knows, we could have gone for 10, which has never been done in the history of basketball. It could have been 10 in a row. 10 in a row if it wasn't for that Detroit game. It got postponed because you knew we were going to beat Detroit. You know, Detroit is a really bad team. So it could have been 9 or 10 straight against the Cavaliers. Could have been. But we got 2 games left before the trade deadline. We got Cleveland and Charlotte. And we got Indiana over the weekend, which I will be there that game, by the way, Wizards fans. I'm there for Indiana because we're going to be possibly a different team this coming Saturday. We're not going to do any big, though. We're probably going to make probably one trade or possibly two. But we shall see. I think we're buyers, not sellers. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get somebody that and no one that they even need. You know what I'm saying? So that's the next show, y'all. Next show is the trade deadline. So we're gonna find out. We'll find out who we're gonna get in the trades. So hopefully it's something good. Like last year, when we got the unicorn last year, and year 4, Daniel Gafford. So we're gonna find out. So as Wizards fans, it's not over yet. So I know everyone's upset about the two debacles, but we're still in the playing behind. You know what I'm saying? We're still like we're barely behind 7th place. Who's in 7th place is New York and Miami, and we're like 3 back of whoever's in 6th. So it's not over yet, y'all. So we still got time. Hopefully, before the deadline, we'll have to wait and see. So thank y'all for watching. Y'all know the deal. Follow me on Twitter at Camingo. Same Instagram. You know my Wiz page. Twitter is at Wiz_Nation. Instagram Nation_Wiz. Thank y'all. Peace.